There's more than enough. Searching for the me, me for you and you for me. Like the stars in the sky, you're my eye, and like the shining sun above. Well, I got to have your love, and we will never find an ending to our love. No, 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 no. We will never find an ending to our love. Oh, no, 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 to our love. Well, lovers come, lovers go, but it don't have to be a girl I know. Is we can climb the highest mountain, and when we are thirsty, we can drink from the fountain of our love, and we will never find an ending to our love. No, 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 we will never find an ending to our love. Oh, no, no, never find an ending to our love. Come on. We'll never find an ending to our love. Oh, never find an ending. Never find an ending to our love. Never find an ending. Never find an ending to our love. Oh, an ending. Never find an
Hey y'all, Sister Modupe's Raw Vegan Soul Food Show. Woo! We had some technical difficulties, but we are here. So let's get started. You know that beautiful song about love. So you know my beautiful husband is here with me. We're talking about love for the planet, love for each other, love for every creation, every critter, everything, right? Because that's how we're going to get through this life in an optimal way, right? And so you know what we do on the Sister Modupe's Raw Vegan Soul Food Show. We talked about optimizing our health so that we can have the most vibrant, happy, longest, bestest life ever, right? So today's show, my husband's going to help me again today. We're going to be talking about part two about being the best vegan possible. That's right. We need some help. If you're a meat eater, you need to know what you're doing, huh? We got to take care of this so it can continue to take care of us. And that means that we have got to understand it, right? So today we're going to talk about 5+ more tips on how to be the bestest ever vegan, okay? So last week we talked about avoiding processed food. We talked about make sure to eat live foods for the enzymes and such. We talked about, what else did we talk about for the 5? Not eating processed, not eating live things. You know, check the video. It was some good information, all right? So today we're going to continue and talk about breathing. Breathing, deep breathing. You know, my husband says to me when things are going haywire, breathe. I had a link for you, but we're not able to bring it up right now. But we were talking about, this link talked about the fact that everybody's talking about a tight tummy and all that kind of stuff. But the best way to breathe is breathe deeply. I mean, all the way, do that belly breathe. He over here practicing now. Do that belly deep breathing, right? Because then you allow your lungs to open up. It's like a paper bag. If you blow in it a little bit, you get a little bit of air, and the bag doesn't totally, inflate. It's just like with a balloon, right? So you want to inflate that balloon, that lung, that bag fully, and that takes that deep gut breathing. That's why people enjoy yoga so much. They feel like they're high when they leave that yoga session because they've been practicing that deep breathing. My husband gets up and he's real consistent, usually in doing his meditation session, and sits still and breathes and just lets it out so he can let the whole universe in, right? And that feels good. I mean, you're getting oxygen out to all the far reaches, the parts of the body. I mean, you need to get it out to your fingertip and to the tips of your toes. So make sure that you relax, breathe deep. It's important for everybody. But my vegan buddies, I'm hitting y'all up. I'm giving you some good information about breathing deep. You want to add something to that? You always talking about air and the elements, so now we're talking about air. Go on and give your spiel on air.
Well, it's just, once again, always a pleasure and an honor to be here before everyone and just to serve and to share. And yes, we are absolutely appreciative of air, and we're looking forward to what Queen has to share with us today as far as, you know, how you can get the best from the air you breathe. Yes.
That's right. And so, remember, I always tell everybody, though, I know some of you going like, hey, I live in L.A. I don't know if I want to breathe too deep. But that's why it's very important to make sure that you're eating well, you're relaxed, you get plenty of rest. I'm giving you some more tips. And that you take supplements, because we are here breathing some air that isn't, I don't know where we are is for not clean air on the planet, but L.A. ranks up there. It's much better than years ago, they say, but it's still not good. When you're in an industrialized area, the air is, you know how it is. You go up on a hike up a hill in L.A. and you look back down and you go like, what? We sitting in that stew? Or you fly in or out of here and you're just looking like, my air, is that brown? Because you can't see it. It's because you're right down in it. So it's very, very important. And I'm going to do a whole show on talking about how to keep your lungs healthy and such, because right now we have so many huge forest fires in the LA region. I'm going to say the region because, yeah, they're not 5 or 10 minutes away, but the air, it circulates all around. And California has a lot of forest fires going on right now. So it's very important to be somewhere, getting some good deep air. Go near the ocean. That's a good tip. Here we're able to go near the ocean and breathe in that deep, wonderful, salty air. I love going down there. It just feels so good. So if you're not near the ocean, go to a park. Go somewhere where there's a lot of trees. Go visit the, what do you call it, the place where they have a lot of flowers, or a lot of, like, what do you call it? Like in Milwaukee, they call it the domes, and they have this big conservatory. It's 3 huge glass domes. They've got plants from all over the world. You walk in there, you just feel like, feel like you're loved. The humidity is beautiful. The air, you can smell the plants, and you can even smell that they're cleaning the air. I swear, I hear a vacuum cleaner as those plants are cleaning the air. Okay, so breathing and breath and breathing deeply, and we know how important that is. You can go for without food for about a month. You can go for without water for a few days, but that's only a few seconds, a few minutes for those who are good swimmers, that you're going without air before you're in trouble. But remember, breathing deeply is very, very important. So that brings us to number 2. Yeah, and this is about being vegan, right? Or whatever. Because guess what? Everybody's got to have water. If you don't have water within a few days, But the point is, you have to make sure that you're getting in the best quality of water and plenty of it. It's summertime right now, and it's very easy to dehydrate. You need water for every organ, every cell in your body. And when you say you catch a cold or something like that, you even need more water, because now you're in repair mode. You're in trying to detox mode, right? And so you even need more water. So normally we're in maintenance mode, and we're just, getting it in because you need it. But you lose moisture as you speak, as you talk, you're losing moisture. As you breathe, you're losing moisture. As you move, you're losing moisture. So it's like this. As long as you're alive, you're going to be losing moisture. Right. And you need to put it back in, okay? So water, that's the second tip. I know you're going like, I thought it was about veganism. I'm talking about being a healthy, full of vitality vegan, right? So I'm saying vegan, but whatever you are, whatever your lifestyle, your eating lifestyle, you've got to get that deep breathing in for it to be optimal, and you've got to get that water in, okay? Now, number 3, now this one goes to speaking about eating, right? Fermented foods. That's what I said, fermented foods. And why? Fermented foods, like what? What are examples of fermented foods? Give me some examples, sweetie.
That would be, which one that we enjoy the most? How about the tempeh?
Tempeh is a fermented food. Bing, bing, bing. You got it right. That's a soybean product, and the bacteria are allowed to culture and work on that soybean. It really changes the whole dynamic of what the soybean is about, and it makes a lot of probiotics and things available to the body. What else?
One of my favorite breakfasts, the chia seeds.
The chia seed is not fermented, but when you have it in your yogurt, you have it in a fermented product.
And the yogurt.
Yes, and we do coconut milk yogurt, and that's milk with M-Y-L-K, okay? So that is one of his favorite breakfasts. So we take that coconut yogurt and put some chia seeds, some hemp. What else do we put in there? Maybe some ground up flax, and I ground my own seeds so that they're fresh. And we love that. That's delicious. You put some fruit in there. Bananas is one of his favorites. So we just pack it up, and it is delicious. Okay? So fermented foods are so, so important for the health of your body, because you get that bacteria that works on that food, breaks it down, and makes so many nutrients more easily available to you. And it also provides the good bacteria for the body. That's right. I said good bacteria. Bacteria is not always bad. Matter of fact, you know, scientists say that our body, our physical body, is made up of more bacterial cells than quote-unquote human cells. That's right. So in our gut, we've got there are good bacteria that we can't live without. As a matter of fact, when you get sick, that means that some place in the body has been overcome with either a virus or a bad bacteria population. Your good bacteria population too low. And now you're like, what is going on? The body is like getting all mucousy, trying to remove things, and you're feeling sluggish and tired because the body is now being under attack, and it's doing things to try and overcome that.
Yes.
All right? So fermented foods are really, really good for you, and vegans, you need to be eating these fermented foods. They're good sources of B vitamins and such, what they're always saying, oh, vegans can't get enough of. Yes, you can. You got to know what to eat, how much of it to eat, and to eat it with the right things so that you can absorb it best. So those are things like tempeh, coconut milk, kefir, coconut milk, yogurt, garbanzo beans, if you ferment them. So
yes.
I finally learned how to make the fermented beans, because my sweetie, he eats raw all the time, right? And so he likes to go to this one restaurant. They make this burrito, right? This raw bean burrito. And I kept trying to make this burrito for him, and he was like, okay.
This is not raw vegan soul food.
Yeah, not yet, not yet. Keep working on that version, right? So I finally learned how to ferment culture the garbanzo beans, and they're so good. They don't even taste like beans, right? They don't taste like raw beans. They just taste like this delicious, dense, real fulfilling carb, good carb. And then also we like to do the black rice. I do forbidden black rice.
Oh, yes.
And I culture ferment that. And so that's really, really much easier to digest. It doesn't bloat you and things like that. So remember, fermented foods. And one I didn't mention yet is sauerkraut. I thought that was the one you were trying to think of. Sauerkraut is easy to find. You can even make it yourself. Wonderful, wonderful food, especially for people who are having digestive issues and they're trying to heal, repair their gut. Cabbages, fermented cabbage is very, very good for you. Now, the warning is always what? You don't want to buy a product that has this big, long paragraph of ingredients, right? Now, there's one product out there, one sauerkraut I've found, and I'm sure there may be a few more on the market. 2 ingredients on the list. I love this one. Cabbage and salt. That's it. They do it old style, the way people used to do it before they had availability of all these crazy chemicals that they put in your food that your body doesn't need. It's really not good for your body. So just, you don't have to eat a lot of it. Just a little bit before you eat the rest of your meal will help a lot with digestion. And so now sometimes he's finding on his plate, he's got a little place where that sauerkraut's sitting. And one thing I've loved, this is one of my 2-second recipes, right? And we're going to start a whole feature on that. Sauerkraut with the dolch seaweed, the red seaweed in it. I thought I brought it. I didn't bring it today. But you can even put it in the jar with the sauerkraut. And then it gets all soft, savory, and looking all sexy and pretty right now because you have this contrasting color and even contrasting texture. So we love it. And to put it in with the sauerkraut even starts to break it down more so it's easier to eat. And yeah, so we love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next category of foods that is absolutely essential that you're eating, really everybody, not just the vegans, really everybody.
Everybody.
What do you think that is?
She always put me on
Put
the
on the
spot.
spot.
Like,
Yes.
I'm sitting here like y'all. I'm just like eating it up.
And he
So-
does mean eat it up. He doesn't needs to be in the kitchen to do all this stuff most of the time. The seaweeds. Seaweeds, absolutely essential that really everybody is trying to get more seaweeds in, and there's a lot of good reasons. One big reason is the iodine content. A lot of people think sea salt has a lot of iodine in it, but guess what? Even sea salt and poisonous white table salt that they usually put in processed foods and such.
Synthetic.
That's not. Yeah, he said synthetic. That's not where it's at. Okay. That's not where the iodine is anyway, unless they've actually put iodine in. So sometimes you'll see in the store the container of, you know that white table salt. He just mentioned the brand, and it'll say iodized, right? They've put iodine in. So if sea salt was such a good, or salt was such a good source for iodine, they wouldn't need to iodize it, right? And in this country, some years ago, decades ago, people having goiters, the swollen thyroid gland, that was a really big problem. And it was because people stopped eating things like the seaweeds, and they started using things like processed salts. And a big thing is that the chemicals that they were starting to put in the processed food was now blocking the iodine absorption, okay? When the Fukushima event occurred in Japan, we did a program in the community, and the community turned out in really great numbers because I was trying to get people to understand, okay, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
All right, there's been this big nuclear accident kind of thing, and yes, it's going to affect us because it's coming over in the air, it's coming over in the seawater, right, in the ocean. And the thing to understand about that, even with things like, and we'll talk more about this in our next show, things like the breads where they put these bromide, dough conditioners and all these chemicals you see on these different foods, when they put that stuff in there, it blocks, or it actually sits on the receptor site for iodine. So once it's sitting on the receptor site, now your body can't pull in the iodine for that particular spot, okay? So now you're going to be iodine deficient, plus you've got something sitting in your receptor sites in your body that's not good for you. And so you start having a lot of thyroid problems. And this was a big issue in America a number of years ago. And so they started putting the iodine into the salt, right? But the problem with trying to get all the iodine the body needs, and the body needs a good amount, right, is that it's out of balance. That table salt that they use is mostly sodium and sodium chloride, right? It's just sodium chloride. Your body needs more than those two minerals. Those are two minerals. And so you've got all the sodium, which can not be good for the body because you need all these other minerals. And if you're eating that stuff and not making sure you get minerals from other sources, it can cause a problem, right? Not in many of the ways people think, like, oh my God, I can't do salt. No, you need salt, right? And one of the good books, it says what? Go forth and be the salt of the earth, right? There's a reason it says that, but you have to eat the right salt, the healthy salt, which has a big array of minerals like Himalayan salt, over 100 minerals. And your body needs those every day, right? So seaweeds, there's all kinds of varieties. Nori that they use for sushi. There's the red seaweed, dolch. Now, the different seaweeds will have different amounts of iodine and even the other minerals in them, depending on anything from the climate, the time of year that it's harvested, because the water actually changes in its content of the minerals and stuff, right? So the nori, you can eat more of that in a week than you can of the dosh if you're not having any kind of imbalance problems, but you're just eating it because you want some, right? And so, you know, a couple tablespoons of the dosh a week, that's plenty. And now, if you have a hypothyroid issue, you could eat more, because hypo, meaning under functioning, you're actually needing more of that iodine. And I'm going to do a whole show on that, because unfortunately, guess what's back? Iodine deficiency. And it's being caused by a variety of things. And so we're going to talk more about that. So get your seaweeds, your sea vegetables. That's right, the vegetables from the sea. Just like your mother and grandmother used to tell you, get those vegetables in. They didn't know it, but they were also talking about any vegetable, right? They didn't just say the land vegetables. Get those sea vegetables in. You want to make sure it comes from clean waters. And then it's just so good for the body, because the soils are so mineral deficient. They do not have the minerals in the soils any longer that we need for our bodies to keep them nice and strong. It's like building a house, right? If you want to call it like building a house. We can't just build this house out of, I mean, you wouldn't build a house somebody's going to live in out of just glass or just wood. They don't anymore anyway. There's other things you need to make a really strong and durable building, like stainless steel and you know, copper and things like that. Oh, guess what? Those are minerals too.
Okay.
Those are metals, just like and we need the right source, the plant-derived metals for our bodies. Okay. Now, woo! Y'all still there? Listen, okay. So one of the last categories I want to talk about is veggies. You didn't think I was just going to let you off. Green leafy vegetables, right? In the other show, we talked about eating fresh food. In part one, we talked about eating fresh foods, and that was vegetables and fruits and, you know, things like nuts and seeds. And we talked about the fact you need to soak those nuts and seeds and things like that. Well, I want to make sure that I emphasize green vegetables, because a lot of people who are vegans end up unhealthy vegans, because all they want to do is eat potatoes or eat French fries or eat vegan cheese and all those kinds of things. And those things do not have enough nutrition in them for you. Plus, you have to eat the right balance. Of foods, right? You need good fats. And as a matter of fact, I need to mention that too. Good fats. You need some carbohydrates. And you absolutely need those lighter foods that are nutrient dense, like greens. Greens are fantastic. And you got all kinds of varieties. So say you have an issue, a health issue, and you can't eat the dark greens. Well, you can eat things usually like lettuce. Like people who have hypothyroidism, they have to avoid the dark greens because of different substances in them.
Yeah.
But they can eat things like lettuce. And guess what? Ooh, there's a whole variety of lettuces out there. Nice, light, hydrating, right? And except avoid that iceberg lettuce. And if you intend to, you insist on eating iceberg, absolutely make sure, as with other things, that it's organic. And don't always fill your plate with that, because there's very little nutrition at all in iceberg lettuce, okay? So if you want to have some, just make sure it's not often, okay? Because you don't want to push the good nutrient-dense greens off the plate and put the iceberg on it. Yes.
How about sharing with everybody about that romaine and jackfruit creation you prepared a few days ago, which was absolutely amazing. That's a good green.
Okay, all right. So in our area here in LA, you can find these big, beautiful. Matter of fact, we had one on the table last week. A big, beautiful jackfruit. I forgot to point it out, but I know if you were watching, you saw that strange-looking fruit on the table. And this comes from island areas and such. And so here I am on the internet, because remember, I got to find a raw way to make it for him. And I wanted to do something more than just cut it open, take the pods out, and eat it as a sweet fruit. So I'm looking on the internet, and every time I find a recipe to give me some idea how to use it, because, you know, I didn't grow up around jackfruit, so I'm looking for other ideas. And even when I found a recipe where it was made into something savory, they took the fresh fruit, because you can buy it canned, they took the fresh fruit and put it in a skillet. And I'm like, no, I'm looking for a raw, fresh way to do it. So I did with Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
Last week on Instagram and Twitter, or was that earlier this week? No, last week. We put up some images of me showing people how I cut that thing. I'm going to tell you, that was some work, but it was some worthwhile work. So what we did was, or I did, because he did the eating, I did the working. So I cut it open, took the pods out, shredded them, took the seed out, shredded it up, and put a chili sauce on it. And it was really good, I must say so myself. And it was so simple, but people think there are things you can't eat raw. So I made him a wrap, put some in a coconut wrap, which he loves. It was some shredded jalapeno, just chili sauce jalapenos. And we did some in a seaweed wrap. We did some on the organic romaine leaves. And I'm telling you, it was good all three ways. So those are ways to make sure that you are going to be the best vegan you can be, okay? Because we don't want you to just go around saying, I'm vegan, but you look sick, you don't feel well, you're losing too much weight, or you're not resting well, you don't have energy. And believe you me, I've seen all kinds of vegans. Some look sick, some are not feeling well, some are still having food cravings for other things that they say they've given up. That's not a way you want to do it. That's like putting yourself in misery or hell or something. We don't want you to be like that. We want you to feel good, be vibrant, healthy, and shining, shining, shining. So people say, I don't know what you're doing, but I don't want to do that. We want them to say, what are you doing? You look great.
I want some of that.
I want some of that.
I want what you have.
Yes, indeed. So thank you for tuning in. Again, we want to thank our sponsor.
Yes, I am 90 for Life, where we are able to get all of the minerals and vitamins and amino acids because unfortunately it's not all in the food anymore. So when we combine the delicious raw vegan soul food with all the right plant-based supplement, we are able to become nutritionally optimized.
That's right, and that's what it's about, nutritional optimization, not just saying I live a lifestyle and it's not doing you any good. But we have to realize that this beautiful food here, unfortunately, they don't grow it right. Even organic, it still doesn't have all the nutrition that you need in it. Watermelon, again, it's summer, getting towards the end of summer, but woo, we have eaten water. I think we've eaten a field of watermelons. Make sure they have seeds, okay? Organic cherry tomatoes, passion fruit, avocado, lemon, lime. Every day, 90 for life, okay? I am 90forlife.com.
This is the key. This is the secret right here. Food and supplements together.
Yes,
and understanding the body.
Exactly, because the body needs help. Do you understand? I wish it was like Garden of Eden, but it's a whole different world. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you to my special guest today.
I'm appreciative, and I'm just like you guys. I feel like I'm in the audience, and when she's speaking, and I'm just taking it in, I can really feel what y'all feel because it's such a beautiful blessing for us to have you to share with us like you do.
Well,
sweetie.
thank you. I love all of you out there, and I want you to go out and love somebody,
love.
Okay? Because that's what we need in this world today and every day. Again, we're going to end with his beautiful, beautiful song that's about love between everybody, because that's the only way we're going to survive and thrive here on this planet, all right? Thank you. I look forward to you joining us again. Sistah Modupe's Raw Vegan Soul Food Show. Peace.
There's more than enough, searching for the same destiny.